Server load balancer. Let's understand this scenario of a user to application interaction via the server, and then we can elucidate on why a server load balancer is required. So here there is one user which is accessing an app that has been hosted in an on-premise server inside a data center. So the IP of this application is 1.1.1.1, and user request goes and accesses this application on the server. Now, what happens? The RAM, memory, resources, and related things are within limit of utilization when there are fewer lesser number of users. However, now the number of users start increasing. All these are shown as users. So in that case, the RAM, memory, and everything, rather all the resources start increasing and they cross that threshold value. In that case, the admin, what they will do is they will increase the RAM to the highest of the value so that additional user requests which are coming in and hitting the server, they are taken care of. So this happens that the RAM and other resources, hard disk, SSD, all those things have been increased to the maximum limit so that the number of traffic requests and the connections which are coming can be taken care of. But after a while, this becomes overwhelming because the number is still growing. Hence, in that case, the server will not be able to take care of so many requests and it may crash or result in downtime. Once there's a downtime, there's a critical loss, a huge loss to the organization, to the business, because the server is not working. Users are not able to do their transaction, and hence everything crashes. It goes for a toss. It's a loss of business, loss of reliability, everything happens. Now, that is where a server load balancer, also called a reverse proxy, comes into picture, where we can see SLB, this is a server load balancer, has been stationed between the application and the user. Let's say user wants to access 1111, which is basically abc.com website, and it acts as a sort of a reverse proxy where the request which comes from the user, it is distributed across the servers which are hosting the same application. Now, what happens? Let us the first request comes in, server load balancer sees, oh, server 1 is not having any request. It is available for taking more requests, so it will send it here. Second maybe to the server 2, 3, then 4. Now, with that type of arrangement, the server 1 is offloaded from so many requests, maybe getting inundated because the number of users are increasing. That peak is held by the server load balancer and distributed across to different servers. Well, maybe on a day, the number of users are extremely high. That colossal value becomes inundated or overwhelming for all these servers. No issues. We add in one more server which has an application, one hosted here, one more. So automatically the server load balancer will start sending those requests to the other servers also. The user one request goes to first server, user two goes to the second server, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, and so on. Now you see that the servers are not being overutilized and within the limit of their resources. Hence, any increased number of requirement from the user is also catered by the server load balancer, which distributes the traffic. And that is why server load balancer becomes an essential imperative part of a data center solution where the upscale of resource requirement is too high, and then it will distribute that across the different servers. That is the crux of what a server load balancer is, and it is also called a reverse proxy in many cases because it is performing that duty of doing a proxy for the requests. So there are different vendors who are providing the SLB solution, server load balancer, which is the global name server load balancer. And the key vendors into this market are F5. F5 sells its product by the name of LTM. Then we have Citrix, which was earlier Netscaler. A10 ADC, NGINX is there. In fact, cloud providers are also not far behind. They are efficiently providing load balancing services. Let us say Cloudflare is one, Azure, AWS also has got its own load balancer, Alibaba, and other such cloud providers are also into this domain. So, server load balancer service can be provided at on-premise data center as well as cloud also. And this is the whole crux of how a server load balancer works and how competitors, vendors across the globe are in the race of providing best of the services across the server load balancing domain.